System Summit Live brought to you by Marketing Automation Solutions Services, Webinar Secrets, and the Philanthropreneur Foundation. System Summit Live.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I am Stan Shields with you from System Summit Live, along with Dr. Victoria Boyd. How are you this morning, Dr. Boyd?
I am doing fabulous. It is a wonderful day. So much is happening. I just want to give another shout out to our sponsors, Take Charge Credit Consulting, Maria Speaks Love, and Marketing Sparkler.
Marketing Sparkler, the mic drop lady. That's what our new nickname for her. So before we take off on this, welcome replay viewers and those of you who are watching live. We appreciate you being here and watching with us. We are broadcasting live on both Facebook and YouTube. And so do us a favor and like, subscribe, follow, and share. So on whichever platform it is that you're watching on, just make sure you tell your friends, invite them back if you like us. And if you want to,
they like
share
us.
the love.
Come on, they love us.
Share the love, so that's it. We had so much great conversation before the whole meeting even started that we need to figure out how to record that. You know how you do the recording of the back, what's behind the scenes, right? Because so often there's so much good stuff that starts happening in there that it's like, oh, wait, we need to put this on the screen. We need to talk about this so that we share it with everybody else. But we're going to be talking about today about monetizing your assets. And so it's a topic that I think a lot of us, we overlook our assets. Because I asked you the question, I said to you, look, I don't really feel like I have, that much that I can truly monetize. And you went into this whole thing of showing me and helping me see things that were there. But before we dive into dissecting some of that, what is it? What do you mean by that? What is monetizing your assets?
Well, like you said, we often overlook some of these good old nuggets that we just assume everybody else is aware of because it's internalized. We have internalized it, and it's a part of who we are. But it has value to many, many people that are looking for help. I've been using and talking about monetizing assets for many years. I even gave a 2-day conference here in Las Vegas about social enterprise, and this was for nonprofits looking at their assets. And we had a whole asset evaluation form and strategy of how to look at and build to monetize money, get more money, and build revenue centers for some of the things that you take for granted. For example, Philanthropreneur Foundation has a lot of different training, but also we have a brick and mortar building that we don't use all of the time. And so we were renting out the space. That's an asset. It became a revenue center. And so it was a part of our funding resources. But with the pandemic, of course, we had to shut that down and you look at other things. But you should always be assessing, what is it that I do and does it have value for someone out there struggling with this? Even though I might be past that point where I understand it, somebody else still might be struggling with that concept.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. I used to do that with the martial arts business because I had a martial arts studio that basically we used it, from about 4:00 p.m. until 9:00 p.m. And then, and I had a few classes during the day, but it was really, I think most of the time it was one class that was right around noon or something like that. But the rest of the day it sat empty. And I remember at one point I had a variety of people that came in and used the studio for, their classes that they offered. Sometimes it was yoga. Sometimes it was some kind of an educational program that they came in and used it. Right. Yeah. So, you can do that.
It's really easy to sort of see those types of assets because they're tangible. Right. It's like I have this big empty space. Right. But there's so many other assets that the independent consultants, the entrepreneurs, the micro businesses that we're dealing with, they just sort of overlook it's
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes, well, outside person it might be obvious, just
Right.
like I started rattling off a whole bullet list of things that
So exactly. So let's talk about that for a second there. You said, look, you created that, and then what I called it was a calendar automation blueprint. And you
right.
said you created this, and that was one of those things that I did give away for System Summit participants or something like that. But that was one that you said, well, look, that's maybe one of those things that maybe you just charge like $9 or $7 or
Yeah.
something like that, right? And you put it
Yeah.
out there online in a funnel or whatever, and then it just works year round.
Right. It becomes a residual income that you don't really think about.
Mm-hmm.
You make it accessible, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not one of those things that you're pushing forward, and it
Mm-hmm.
might lead to an upsell of a bigger product.
Correct.
But you
Correct.
want to get them into test the waters. You want to get them into that funnel, or
Mm-hmm.
to learning more about you. And with a real
Mm-hmm.
simple document like that, and yeah, we call them lead magnets, and many times they say, "Oh, give away something free."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but people will pay $7. Anything under $10,
Mm-hmm.
that's almost a
Mm-hmm.
no-brainer, especially
Mm-hmm.
if you talk about the value that it will help them or what problem it will solve for them immediately. They'll pay
Right.
for stuff like that. And
Right.
so it's looking at all of those, I call them assumables. I just
Mm-hmm.
assume everybody knows about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In the
Mm-hmm.
nonprofit sector, it wasn't that difficult because many people are confused about those things that I have a deep understanding of. And so there
Mm-hmm.
were many things, I could look at that people will actually pay for this. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
it's more tangible in the for-profit side of, business, because
Mm-hmm.
that is what they look for. They're looking for problem solvers. And the
Right.
more you can come up. And it's really what is in your business. Do you really understand what your business is doing?
Mm-hmm.
And what
Mm-hmm.
and accepting, I'll say, assuming the value that you bring to everyone, that
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
have value and worth, and put a
Mm-hmm.
dollar sign on it, and make it tangible.
Mm-hmm. Now, so then one of my responses to you was, okay, but I've got this one product that I did create because I said, all right, you know what? This took time for me to figure all of this out, create this strategy of using Gmail to send from your business email address, but using a merge tool that now sends emails that look like they're personal emails, but they're semi-automated because you've personalized them tremendously. And so I do have that out there as a product that's for sale, and it's for right now. I'm offering it 47. And I said to you that, well, okay, yeah, it's out there at 47, but I think I need to change the price because nobody's buying it. What did you say to me?
I said, you're not marketing it right. The people aren't getting the message, because totally what that does, it's worth $47. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's worth more, but we won't go into that.
Okay.
But it's people aren't understanding the value of it. And so once again, you have to understand what you have and be able to
Mm-hmm.
explain the problem you're solving
Mm-hmm.
with the right, I can help you do this. Are you struggling with this, and that? Then here's
That
the
was a
solution.
great little mic drop moment right there. So let's not gloss over that, okay? Because that's huge right there, and it's the thing that you said it earlier. Sometimes others looking in can see it, but when we're in it, we don't see it, right? But
Right.
it's what's the problem that we're solving, right? And
Yes.
being very clear with that, because if we're now are clear on what is this problem that we're solving and we communicate that clearly.
Got to communicate it. Yes, and check. Well, actually, we had this conversation a couple days ago with our wonderful marketing sparkler.
Yeah, with Kimya
But
Scott. She's
yes,
amazing.
and just so people know, they need to sign up for the System Summit group, because we're
Mm-hmm.
going to start offering some free giveaways. Even though we know the value of them, we're going to be giving some roadmaps first on marketing.
Okay.
And this leads right into it. Who is your target audience? Do
Mm-hmm.
you know who that is?
Mm-hmm.
And you can't say this
No.
big global. You have to really dig deep. And then, even if you create several messages, it's aimed at one
That
person.
That is the key right there. I'll tell you, that has become so apparently clear that you might have the same product that can be used by many different people, right?
Yeah, yeah,
However, each of those different groups needs their own message so that they can identify with it. And then
absolutely.
you might end up funneling them right to the exact same page that everybody else goes to, but the initial message, the starting message, addresses this group of people, and then
Yes.
the next message, for that other group, this different group, they have a different message.
They come from a different perspective. And so you have
Yes.
to know what their perspective is. You got to get yourself out of it. You got
Yeah.
to know
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
they want. It's all about them. We use
Mm-hmm.
it's all about me. No, no, no.
Mm-hmm.
It's, what do they want? What's in it for me? That's what they're talking about.
That's
And
right.
they're looking to solve problems. And so you have to start out by solving that problem. And this whole concept was really drilled deep to me when I was creating Voices from the Field Now site, because we both took the training. Now, yeah, I knew it, and I talk, I understand it and have often, changed language from I to you. It's all, making sure you have all of the yous and yours and, not me and not in my language. But watching visually, because I'm a visual person, how problem, answer, contact,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's pretty much that simple.
Mm-hmm.
And so
So you
creating the
said
voices
it.
from the, yeah,
You said it right
what's
here.
in it for me? Yeah,
WIIFM,
that's
everybody's
what's in it
favorite
for me. And
radio
that's their
stations.
perspective. You have to switch gears and step into their shoes,
Yes.
because that's the question they are asking. What's in it for me?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
look at your own business. What's in it for me? Again, to find those assets
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
then put a dollar value on them, monetize them.
Mm-hmm.
My
Mm-hmm.
very, very first book I wrote, The Wealthy Teacher, answering the question, what's next? I started with, what's your value?
Mm-hmm.
Because many teachers, I was a teacher for 30 years, we didn't look beyond our 900 square foot box, our classroom, of
Mm-hmm.
what
Mm-hmm.
we had to offer the world. We thought it was internal,
Mm-hmm.
but we have organizational skills, we have planning skills, we have content development skills,
Right.
trainings, that all of those can be monetized and transferred into other industries.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing here. No matter what your product or service is, look at how it can be transferred into other industries and
Yep.
become assets that you can monetize. Is it
Mm-hmm.
a job that you have to, really be focused and do seriously? Of course it is. But if you are looking for revenue centers, then those are the easy things. We always say the low hanging fruit.
Right. Right.
You already
Right.
got that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just
So
use it and monetize it.
So you had in your notes here selling assets versus monetizing assets. So what do
Okay,
you mean by
yeah,
that?
selling assets versus, that's where, excuse me, you, okay, your model is selling assets. You have several great products
Mm-hmm.
that work together to create
Mm-hmm.
a system and separate processes, and you're
Mm-hmm.
selling those assets.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Monetizing assets is things that you already have created. I have training way back
Mm.
from 2012, 2011. I could go back to, hate to say, the 1995 and
Mm-hmm.
pull up training that is still applicable today, but I'm not
Mm-hmm.
using it.
Mm-hmm.
And so those
Mm-hmm.
are assets, but I need to monetize them.
Gotcha.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
every business, there is some type of product that aligns with them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm like on our or for System Summit, we have a resource toolkit. System Summit provides education. Our resource toolkit is looking at the assets that our audience can use, and those people are selling them, but we're the affiliate, so we're actually selling assets in that
Mm-hmm.
mindset in terms of that. That's a
Mm-hmm.
different model, but it's affiliate. And so we are earning from there. But
Mm-hmm.
by monetizing some of our assets is things that we as an organization, System Summit, or the Philanthropreneur Foundation that we already have that are just sitting there
Mm-hmm.
dormant
Mm-hmm.
that we can monetize and make them become a revenue center. So it's the difference between selling as both of them are viable. Selling
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
monetizing, they're both viable paths to making more money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's once again, how are you looking at what is in your sphere of your business?
Right. Yeah, that was part of our our conversation before we went on camera. Also, a little bit was just the whole thing that I really had to do was get more aligned. You called it alignment centers here, right? And
Congruence of interest.
yes.
Yes.
So
And congruence of interest is I'll call that the fancy terminology.
okay. Okay.
Because even through the philanthropreneur model where we're talking about cause marketing and that
Mm-hmm.
whole using content marketing by aligning and getting congruence of interest, you
Mm-hmm.
have a model. Okay, what I was saying was before, let's say a year, 2 years ago, you had several different
Yep. Yep.
components or divisions of your
Mm-hmm.
business.
Mm-hmm.
One was travel, one was
Mm-hmm.
health food, health
Mm-hmm.
products,
Mm-hmm.
then the whole systems
Mm-hmm.
automation
Mm-hmm.
division.
Mm-hmm.
They really weren't connected. They
Nope.
were divisions,
Yep.
but you had to split your brain power
That's right. That's
and
right.
turn it off. Okay, I'm not thinking about this right now. I got to think about this.
Mm-hmm.
But by really doing an assessment of what you wanted to focus on, where your
Mm-hmm.
true value and your skill set was,
Mm-hmm.
automation and those business systems and processes became that. And so you sort of threw out those other areas
Yep.
that really
Yep.
weren't in alignment
Right.
and added items that were in alignment,
Yep.
had a
Yep.
congruence of interest for your target audience. They
That's
would
right.
have some value to them. So that's what alignment and businesses, even though you don't have those products right now, you can go out and search for them. You have a page on yours, private label. I,
Mm-hmm.
see, I've been on your website and
You
everything.
have. Yeah. Yeah. You have.
Private label is really where you can find products and rebrand them to be your own.
Right. Exactly. So that whole thing, when you start to think about some of that, is the you're talking about our mind has to go out to all these different areas and we're not really focused on a certain thing. But what it does also is that people don't know what it is that, your potential customers, they don't know what it is that you offer, right? I
Right.
remember at one point it was like, okay, but what is it that you really do, right? And because it's like, well, you're health and fitness chamber of commerce. That's what some people know me as, right? And some people knew me as, marketing systems or automation systems, right? And then some people it's then something else. And it's like, okay, well, what people don't really know what it is that you do.
Yeah.
So it makes it harder for people to be able to do business with you.
Or to even relate to you. This is the power of knowing your brand
Mm-hmm.
and really building a brand that speaks to something,
Mm-hmm.
or that as soon as somebody sees it, they know exactly what it does. And we've had a lot of discussions about the whole System Summits brand and
Mm-hmm.
who we are really trying to serve. And so it has led to bigger thought process of our own individual businesses. And I think it's really moved, everybody involved forward
Right.
and enriched our own personal businesses because just the other day on our Splitzer, in fact, yesterday, I was talking to someone and I said, because she was saying, oh, what's happened? And I was like, I want to make this statement that I have decided to focus on philanthropreneur and Voices from the Field, which is an educational and a project that promotes and helps businesses and nonprofits, and System Summits, which is an educational process that helps businesses and nonprofits. Oh, they both have the same goal, but they're taking two different paths to reach that goal. And so therefore the congruence of interest is still there. Oh, Voices from the Field. I am so excited about this project.
So, now you brought that up, so let's talk about that for just a second. What is Voices
Absolutely.
from
Well,
the Field?
I love to write. In fact,
Right.
you have even said, God, you just give you an idea. Next thing you know, there's a book out about
There's
it.
a book about it, right? Jeez.
But no, writing is almost therapy for me. But since 2012, when I first launched the Flanchpreneur radio show on Blog Talk Radio, I had a segment called Voices from the Field. And what I was doing was inviting business owners in or nonprofits in to talk about the impact they're having in the community and the community partners that they're working with. And many of the business owners really jumped on it because they understood how it was a marketing platform that they could really talk about their business and how they're having a community engagement. And so they got it right away. Voices of the Field is now going to be me building that even further, because I had a segment or a division in the journal that we did. It was his digital publication. Now it's going to be a full book. And so I am reaching out and asking any business that does community engagement, they send out volunteers, whatever that might look like, I want you to tell your story. And the author of that, the contributor, will become a published author. But that's not the most important part. It's the impact that you have by telling that story. First of all, you will increase the benefits or exposure of the nonprofit that you're trying to support, which is huge. You will increase your business exposure, which will increase your revenue and clients, because clients will go with businesses that do community engagement. In fact, 84% of them will change businesses when they see that happening. But there's a whole list of benefits that are listed. Just to get some of the initial one, this is Now site, and it's a landing page, but it will talk about moving to the top of the content marketing pyramid. And if you've never seen the content marketing pyramid, it's just like Maslow's hierarchy of individual needs. At the top of that pyramid is book, ebooks, and publication. We will move you to the top of that content marketing pyramid immediately with submitting and being a contributor to this book called Voices from the Field. It's going to be a Flanchpreneur Foundation book series, and it will have 10 to 15 authors, no more than that, because we really want to be able to feature those stories. We'll interview them on the Flanchpreneur Show. They will get just go on that site, look at that, and then explore it. You have questions? They
so
can
good.
Yeah.
That's
so I'm
cool.
really, really, really excited about that.
Well, and that becomes content that becomes, kind of evergreen. I mean, it's out there. It may not last forever, but just because people's interests change and needs change and whatever, however, it becomes content that's out there for a very long time. At any rate,
and with books, because there is no expiration date, like you said, they can reorder books and make it new again.
That's right. That's right. You can always update.
you can always update, but you can say a year down or 2-3 years down the line, did you see my article in Voices from the Field, what we're doing?
Right.
And another great feature is this, because I did do 2 programs. I did a separate program for nonprofits where they asked the Flanchpreneur Foundation, because we are a nonprofit that supports nonprofits. We will pay for all of their editing and proofreading and publishing costs. All they have to do is buy the books, but then they can turn around and use it as a fundraiser.
And it's this huge marketing tool that you've got that just instantly adds credibility, right?
Yes,
so
absolutely.
It's pretty amazing. All right, so we are coming up on 30 minutes here, but let's talk for a second here. You hit revenue centers, asset centers, aligned centers, we talked about those being those aligned centers. What's the difference that you mean between a revenue center and an asset center?
Okay, so the revenue center was something that a revenue center and an asset, or okay,
Or actually, what you've got here is you call it
I have
revenue
asset center
centers,
and
and then you've
aligned
got
center.
assets and aligned centers underneath, because both of those become revenue, or I guess a part
Both
of
of
the
them
whole
are
revenue
revenue centers.
of the
Yes,
revenue
the
centers. All right,
asset
I
center
got you.
is pretty much what we just talked about. It's stuff
Right,
you
right,
already have.
right,
And
right.
you put it, and then align centers are those things
Yeah.
that are outside that you bring in
Right.
to add to your services.
See, in that whole alignment thing, the last thing I guess I want to say about that is that I see it all the time now where people are always saying, well, you need to diversify, right? You need to have multiple streams of income.
But you have to know what that means.
But that's it. And that means different things to different people. But the my new take on that is, yes, that is true. However, there's a couple of key points with something like that. Is number one, if you can create these aligned centers so that you've got all of these assets
Multiple
or these
streams of
multiple
income.
streams within this alignment of what it is that you're doing, okay, great, that is perfect.
Yeah,
But
and it's
before you go
easier
and
to
start,
identify your target audience.
yes, easy to identify that target audience, right? But before you go and start another stream of income that's in a completely different area, this one has to be pretty much on autopilot and operating on its own without your brain share having to really be there, because now if you're going to do this, or you got to hire somebody to run those things, right?
Right.
So
Right.
however you get to this point. So
I
I
think
think
the key thing here is alignment. You
yes,
know,
it's because it's
if
still all alignment. Yes.
yeah, it's still alignment. Even with some of your previous assets,
Mm-hmm.
they were aligned with who you are, what you do. You just
Yep.
monetize them. If you're bringing in outside assets or aligned assets, you have to make sure they're in alignment. They're
Mm-hmm.
in the
Mm-hmm.
sphere of who your target audience is, and will they
Right.
be interested in them?
Right.
If it's totally outside the box, it's going to be different. You're going to have to restructure and rethink everything in terms of putting it out there. If you
Right.
keep it under the same umbrella,
Right.
it becomes an add-on.
Yeah. Right. Big difference there between an add-on and a totally new thing. Big difference there. So, all right,
Tell
that is
me, I know
perfect.
I can give a testimonial on that one.
I know. Well, we all can, right? So, all right. So let's tell everybody about our Tuesday Blitzer. You want to tell them about Tuesday
Absolutely.
Blitzer?
Next Tuesday and every Tuesday, 7:30 a.m. Pacific time. I'll stress that again. Pacific time. I know it's early,
Pacific
but some
time.
of us are early.
That's right.
This is a unique networking opportunity. I say it's unique because it is one of those where you will be guaranteed to meet 6 to 7 people one-on-one and have the opportunity to get them know them for about 5 or 6 minutes. And then if you want to follow up, make that appointment or make that. But you don't have to worry about the event or the networking program getting lost in conversation, because this program, Blitzer, has structured it to be all automated. There's an intro, there's networking, there's an outro, and it's done. You're in and out in 50 minutes, guaranteed.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
that, and I know I especially love that the time is so set for me that I don't have to worry about what do I need to book or pad this another 15 20 minutes. It's perfect. See us, find us at systemsummit.com/Tuesday Blitzer, and that's
Tuesday.
BLITZR.
That's right. BLITZR. So come join us for Blitzer. It's an amazing experience.
And next week
what's
we have
happening?
Maria Ortez as a guest.
As a guest on this show.
Yes.
That's right. So Maria. So real quick, who is Maria? What does she do?
Maria Ortez, her company is Maria Speaks Loves, but she does social media branding, presence, and things like that. She's uh, I'll say a plethora of information.
She is.
But
She
she's
really
very
is.
interesting. She just did some bilingual presentations in a middle school yesterday.
Oh,
And,
wow.
and so, yeah, she's out in the community. You'll just come on and listen to what she has to share. It's going to be
Hmm.
interesting. But she is
Hmm.
one of our impact sponsors for System Summit. And so we're really excited to have her on the show next week.
Nice. Awesome. All right. Well, that is it for really today. So this has been an enlightening conversation. This has been good. It's a I'm going to call it even an inspirational conversation, at least from my standpoint. So it's been inspirational as well. So good information. So perfect. So for those of you, if you're watching, we appreciate you being here, hanging out with us. Come back and join us next Wednesday so you can see Maria. Come join us on Tuesday next week and every week for the Tuesday Blitzers. I'm creating a brand new Blitzer event. I should have a banner for it, but I don't have it yet. I'm creating a brand, but you can always find me at Blitzer. If you went to that one, you'll always find me. But the event is a marketing automation Blitzer. So it's really about marketing automation, tips, strategies, tools. And so the first few minutes of the Blitzer, that's what we'll be doing is I'll talk about a tool. I'll bring on a guest every now and then to talk about something that's whether it's a tool or a strategy or a tip. And then we'll go into blitzing, doing networking. We'll have 6 to 7, 5 to 7. I'll call it 5 to 7, and it'll be done within an hour. So less than an hour. 5 to 7 networking sessions where you get to meet with people face to face. Blitzer has really tried to recreate the face-to-face connections that you get like outside of a conference, outside of an event where you make those one-to-one connections and you get to have those conversations. That's where a lot of the value comes in a lot of those big presentations and whatnot. So Blitzer is trying to recreate some of that, and they're doing a phenomenal job making it super easy for us to connect with people all over the world. So look for us over on Blitzer. Go check out Blitzer. Come see us and join us next week for the Maria Love Show, and we'll see you next time. That came out weird, didn't it? So Maria Speaks Love. Is that what it is? Right? All right. Maria Speaks Love Show. There you go. All right. We'll see you next time.
System Summit Live brought to you by Marketing Automation Solutions Services, Webinar Secrets, and the Philanthropreneur Foundation. System Summit Live.